Next to me is Mr. Johan Stocking. Later on you will see what a great farmer he is, but he's also the founder and CTO of the company that we partnered up with for this fintech innovation.
And that partnership is about connecting sensors to the Fyndoo lending platform. Connecting sensors to the internet allows for gathering and analyzing data to generate valuable information. For example, if you can measure the growth of crops, climate, and the soil moisture, you can estimate the future yield value. And the future yield value can be collateral in financing. At the Things Network, we developed an Internet of Things network to connect these things. And devices can run on batteries for years or completely autonomous on solar panels. They can also communicate over kilometers of range, so it's easy to connect entire farmlands or agricultural areas. We use a technology called LoRaWAN. It's an industrial standard for connecting things to the internet, and it can be used by anyone, anywhere in the world to set up a wireless network. It's very much like Wi-Fi, but it's low bandwidth, long range, and very low power. We made connecting farms easy. It takes only a few base stations to cover the entire farm or farmland, and a bunch of sensors to get real-time insight in what's going on at a farm.
Before starting our farming adventure, let's take a closer look at Fyndoo. As a lender, you usually ask for balance sheets and profit and loss accounts to substantiate your credit decisions. But what if these are not available, or you simply cannot rely on those files? For this, we have a really cool alternative. Why rely on data of the past if you can monitor real-time what's being done with your loan? That's quite cool, right? Fyndoo enables you to configure your own financial products. Here you see an example of a schedule-based loan containing several tranches. Next to product configuration, you can also configure your own business rules, of which we have made some that, amongst others, rely on remote sensing data. The first tranche here is configured as an unsecured part. The farmer can invest in plants and hire staff and start the growing process. The first tranche is also already approved, as you see on the right hand, contrary to the other tranches. To give you a glimpse of how remote sensing can make a difference in finance, we will show you some events in this micro farm box that can trigger your financial processes. As mentioned, these are all driven by business rules that you can configure yourself and which hopefully will result in all tranches to be paid out. Now we switch to the Fyndoo IoT dashboard, which we see on this screen. And it's customizable as for the things that you would like to measure. For this demo, we have chosen to limit these towards growth, harvesting, and some quality indicators. I feel like having some sushi, so let's put Johan to work and start him growing rice plants. On the dashboard, you will see the sensors are picking up this change on the growth score. They will increase in a minute. And that change is triggering financial processes, like the second payout. Apparently, the soil here at Fyndoo is very fertile. Our rice plant has grown significantly, which Johan will show you. Yeah, there it is. The growth score has increased to almost 100. And in Fyndoo, you can also use this sensor-driven information for other purposes than just payouts. Although we love the weather here in Cape Town, back in Holland, we consider ourselves not to be made for that much sun. So let's assume the crops that we have cultivated also don't handle too much sunlight as well. We've configured a business rule that will also monitor such environmental data. Well, Johan hit the light, and you will see that luminosity is increasing in the left lower graph. Let's take a look what this would have done to your collateral behind this loan. So these crops are now the collateral part of our loan agreement, which we see over here. And if Johan will switch to the screen and move backwards, we see that by having much sunlight, the quality percentage dropped from 55% to 45%, all by tracking this information by these little sensors. As you probably remember, we have one last tranche to pass. This would be the actual harvesting of the crops. This means that sensors need to track the rice plants being harvested. And as an extra element in the business rule, we have determined that it should be a certain harvest size before we pay out the final part. As you see, Johan is very busy again, harvesting and stowing the crops, so it can be weighed and to get an indication of the harvest size. It's already packed, so it's a very fast production process, as you can see. And having explained about the business rule on the last tranche, and having concluded now on the dashboard that we finished the harvest size will increase and now we see that the growth process phase is harvest done. If you switch back to Fyndoo, to the financing screen, we will see that all tranches have been paid out or approved just by tracking this information.